Hello there, and welcome to an all-new episode of Talking Smack, where we talk superheroes, movies, animation, comics, and much, much more. I am your host, Josh Scar, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Alex. Alex, what's up? How you doing?
Good. Did you know that it's starting to feel a lot like Christmas?
It's beginning to look a lot like late fall in the Midwest.
In my neighborhood, they've blown right past Thanksgiving, right into Christmas, because all of a sudden all the Halloween decorations are gone, all the ghosts have disappeared, the coffins and all the headstones, and all of a sudden there's Santa everywhere, and it's like there's another holiday, guys. There's like two. There's two holidays. There's one on the 11th and there's one on the 4th on the fourth Thursday in November.
The one where we overeat and the Lions and the Cowboys play, that one doesn't matter. No one cares. It's just it's a day off of work more than anything.
Those bastards. How are you, Joshua?
I'm excited because we've had this week's episode in the works for a little while now, and I did it again this week just now. I did it when I did the news episode, where I was like, I didn't go see a movie, and I'm like, is my Christopher Walken impression just like coming into my normal talking?
Yeah, like, you didn't see a movie.
I went and saw a movie. Guys, hey, by the way, we've got Steven from Nerd Ranks here. Yeah, thanks, Christopher. We're going to move on from that because no one wants to hear that anymore. But yeah, this is an exciting episode because we have Steven from the Nerd Ranks podcast. And we've been trying to get this one in the works for a while. Some dates have shuffled around, but mostly for me because he's been very amiable. Flexible, I guess would be the proper word. Steven, welcome to the show and thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I want to hear more Christopher Walken, though. You could do the whole
he costs too much money.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks again for having me. I really appreciate you taking on. I just cold emailed you like it's the 90s or something. I was like, hey, I'd make a nerdy show too. You guys want to do some stuff? And you were nice enough to be like, who's this random dude, and let me on your show. So for that, I'm infinitely grateful.
Yeah, you responded to ASL properly.
Damn it, I was gonna do that joke.
Wow. No, since I've like discovered y'all, I've listened to a handful of episodes. I listened to your one on the 1990s Ninja Turtles, and then the Batman Forever, Jumanji.
Nice.
And I like the vibe. I liked the vibe, and I was like, I think I would gel with these people or be able to talk to them and feel comfortable, you know.
Yeah, Nostalgiathon was a big trend break for us because we usually talk about like more modern things. I don't like to nostalgia bait too much, but there was just like 2 months where there was nothing really happening, where we were like, oh, let's go do this. Let's do this thing.
It was
and
time.
So we're like, there's a whole bunch of stuff from our childhood that's hitting 30, 35. Let's talk about it, because what else are we going to do with our time?
No, and I kind of agree with you there too. They're like, there for a minute with like movies and shows, there wasn't anything like huge and bombastic that seemed super noteworthy. So I think you picked a perfect pocket to revisit some stuff and hit those nostalgia bombs. And I think that was good timing.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening as well, like and reaching out, even if like it wasn't to be like, hey, let's talk and hang out for a minute, because like that's one thing I love about this podcast is that or just podcasting in general, is we're just hanging out, having fun, talking about the nerd stuff that we would like to talk about, but maybe we don't have those people at work that we can really spend the time with.
Totally.
Or we just we don't have the time otherwise if we don't make the time, which that's where we started this podcast in general. Is I had been working at GameStop for years and I finally left, and I missed my friends. I missed having the conversations that we had. And so I was like, let's start a podcast, because how else are we going to hold ourselves accountable to seeing each other? So we started doing that. And then we took a break because my life got a little hectic. And then we came back. Alex and I have been going strong for 3 years now, almost 4. It's crazy.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of episodes.
Just a few, yeah. And we've done a few spinoffs as well. But really appreciate you finding us and reaching out. And then we've been listening to your podcast as well. And just a fun little blast of nostalgia. You had that zombie one that I think that was the first one I listened to.
Oh, the zombie video games.
Yes, and one of the very first ones you talked about was Zombies Ate My Neighbor. I'm like, yeah, he's on. Like that, he passed the litmus test. I need to talk more Zombies Ate My Neighbor.
I love that game so much. It's so replayable because of all the item drops are like randomized as you like with each playthrough, so you can memorize the layout of the levels and where like the survivors might spawn, but the items are going to drop in different places, which really gives it that. I feel like it does work on a loop on a long enough timeline. It's like if you play through it like 20 times, it might start repeating, but it's like so spread out enough that you're not going to remember.
Yeah, no playthrough is ever going to be the same, even if you get that 20 playthrough loop. And like I remember playing that game as a kid and having the notebook with all the codes for the
Oh yeah.
levels. But
Yep.
like if you died, even if you wanted to go back to like say you got to like level 45, starting at level 45 with that code means you're starting
With
the
nothing.
latter half of that game with nothing. You have your squirt gun and that's it.
It was like at certain points it was it was like pretty much impossible to like go back to that level and start from ground zero. You could do it. I don't want to say impossible, but when you get into the latter game and you're using the codes, it's definitely a lot harder to rebuild and
Yeah, it
survive.
was. You would definitely have to go back like 4 or 5 levels just to try and get back to a point where you're powerful enough to try and beat the level that you stopped at.
Yeah.
But I love that game as a kid, and that's a game that I really wish they would actually do a good repackaging on.
I got it on Switch. It came with Ghoul Patrol, which, you know, Ghoul Patrol it's all right. Honestly, I feel like it gets more hate than it deserves. It's not a terrible game. It doesn't stack up to Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but yeah, it's on Switch right now.
Yeah, I saw they did that double pack, but I heard the port wasn't great. But I played it on the SNES, and like I don't understand the gamer talk when they start talking about like the screen layouts and like the differences between Sega and SNES, and when they're talking about like, oh, well, the color palette's different, this and that. I'm like, who cares? Like, it's Zombies Ate My Neighbor.
It's like 90% there. You know, like you're not going to get like the CRTV like classic feel with static. It's going to feel like it's a Switch port, you know. It's never going to feel exactly the same.
So, Stephen, with all of our guest episodes, most of our guest episodes, I have broken tradition a few times just because we got too far into the weeds with other things. But we have one very important question we always start our guest episodes with, and that is, what you doing? When you're not making money, when you're not making content, what do you do for fun? What you doing?
I make a lot of music. If I'm not making videos, working on the podcast or doing stuff for money, which music kind of there's a Venn diagram there as well. But I like to play piano, and I have like a looper. I do a lot of do a lot of live looping, but I also read a lot of books, read a lot of comics, watch a lot of movies. I'd say that's the full gamut, and being a dad, you know. Uh, that's
a full-time job in and
that's
of
a full-time
itself, but it
job.
doesn't
Yeah,
pay anything.
yeah. basically, he's I got a sweet little boy. He's a sweet boy.
I got 3 of my own. They're
Yeah.
all girls, and we just got ourselves a kitten as well. So
Oh yeah.
lots of craziness happening in our house. So what inspired you to create Nerd Ranks? What got you into the podcasting game?
I actually had 2 podcasts before this. One was like a short story podcast where I shared things, where I shared like hour-long stories I would write. It was called Strange Whispers. Not that I'm not trying to like plug these or anything, but I was
Oh, you're
super
welcome to. Like that's why
yeah.
we're here.
Yeah. But it was just like a passion project where I love writing, and I was like, I need an outlet for these. So I would just sort of do, I would read them as kind of like an audiobook style podcast. And I think I made like 40 of those or so. And then I was like, I'm going to put this on the back burner so I can work on this book that I'm currently working on. And then I have another podcast called Analog Thoughts, which is a bit more of like a science and education podcast. But I've wanted to do Nerd Ranks for a very long time because I love comics. I love movies. I get like a surge of dopamine from anything nostalgic. So I was like, I want to make that channel and make that vision a reality. Really, it's kind of been like on the back of my mind, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly why we started this podcast. Like we were talking about, it's just we love these movies. We love the stuff we grew up with. Plus, like most of what has come out these last few years have not been great for that dopamine rush. But it's at least something to talk about. But while we're on the topic of nostalgia and all that, what is like the nerd thing that like gets you the most giddy? Like for me, it's Power Rangers. Like if you want to talk Power Rangers, I could talk Power Rangers
Yeah,
for
on that episode
hours.
you guys did with the it didn't go down like that, people. You guys were fanboying out about the Power Rangers for a
Yep.
minute.
Yep.
I love the Power Rangers too. I haven't. I know they have like a lot of comic books, and I have a friend who's read a lot of the Power Rangers comic books, and I know that the current just like canon story for Power Rangers is pretty deep, but I haven't taken that dive myself with like I'm not current on my Power Rangers lore.
I would strongly recommend the Boom Studios run with Power Rangers, starting with Kyle Higgins and just moving your way along, banger after banger. Just there's not a really bad run in that entire sequence of comics that started in 2015 and just ended early this year, late last year.
Oh wow, so it was like a decade long run.
Yeah, they had a really good run, and they had some really great stories, which like the concept of the comic is that it's Kyle Higgins, when he started writing this series, was he didn't want to emulate like the campiness of the original series. He wanted it to kind of be like, this is how Power Rangers made you feel, but in a modern context. So like it's still technically kind of in that 90s continuity, but it's always like in between these episodes, this is what was going on.
Yeah, so they like, for I guess for lack of a better word, they like retconned sort of the lives behind the scenes of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, and they did it in a way that doesn't really break continuity as well. So like all the Green with Evil stuff, the Tommy returns, the White Ranger stuff happens. Like all the TV show stuff is still in canon. They just build on top of it with reading between the lines kind of episodic issues of the comic. Plus there are bigger arcs as well.
That's cool. Who was the writer on that again?
The first writer was Kyle Higgins. He wrote the first 35 issues, but halfway through his run, there's a whole thing. There's some like learning. There's a learning curve to this because once Kyle Higgins hit like a issue 12 or 15, then Ryan Parrott started writing Go Go Power Rangers, which took place before the Green Ranger saga.
Okay.
So like that's taking place pretty recently after the first like 2 or 3 episodes of the series, whereas Kyle Higgins is kind of writing in after the Green Ranger saga. And then there's a nexus point with the Shattered Grid arc, where then that just becomes the Power Rangers comic book from that point on. And then I forget the second full-time writer's name. It's Margaret something. She wrote for like 5 issues, and then Ryan Parrott took over full-time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt Groom wrote a couple of issues, and then Melissa Flores took over full-time, and she closed out the series.
Wow. So it had a full like legacy of writers and twists and turns.
Yeah, and the fun thing is we've actually had Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, and Melissa Flores all on the podcast. Margaret, we were not able to get on, but Kyle Higgins went on to write Radiant Black, which is a fantastic indie comic. Ryan Parrott went on to write Rogue Sun, which is part of the Massive Verse, which includes Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, Infernal Girl Red, and The Dead Lucky, which is written by Melissa Flores. And she was also on to talk about her project with The Dead Lucky. We've been really fortunate on this podcast to get some really cool comic book writers.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was just about to say, I bet you were like stoked. That had to be
that first, I think it's like episode 30 for us, where Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, Matt Groom, Michael Basuto are all on. And you can tell I'm nervous, and I'm just like, don't say anything stupid. Don't fanboy out too hard. And there's one point where I fanboy out way too hard. And I'm like, I can't go back and listen to that episode because I'm like, you idiot, you blew it.
No, I feel like people listening would want to hear you fanboy out, you know, because they get this like I guess vicarious sort of hype about it as well. They're like, he's excited, I'm excited, this is exciting. You know.
Yeah, or they just make fun of me for being too awkward. Like that's I don't want to be awkward. I don't want to be Michael Scott. That's my problem.
No. That's great, though.
Alex, we've been talking here, man. You can join in on the conversation.
I'm trying to figure out if I listen to Strange Whispers or not, because I swear that name is so familiar. And I've listened to so many podcasts.
So you're into like, are you into like horror fiction?
Oh yeah,
So
like
you
I've
listen to
listened
like
to
No Sleep and things
yeah
like that.
yeah No Sleep, Strange Arrivals, Lore. I listened to that a
Oh
lot
yeah,
for a
Lore.
while.
The New Gods of
Dark
Appalachia.
Yes, huge. I have, you can't see it off camera, but over there I have the source books, and I backed
Okay.
the second Kickstarter for the role playing game of them and stuff like that.
Oh wow, that's cool. You
I've been
may
trying to
have. I
figure out.
think I had like 30 some episodes. There's somewhere between 30 and 40, but I'm hugely inspired by all of those podcasts, at least in a writing sense.
Yeah, it's just for some reason when you said it, I started looking through. I'm like, wait a second, did I? Because there's so many podcasts that have just
There's so many.
emerged and like die after like 10 to 20 episodes.
Hmm.
Like I listened to one for a while called Coast to Coast.
Oh yeah, I know about that one.
No, Coast to Coast PM or A. I think it's AM
They're
PM.
like, is their little logo like a water tower, or not a water tower, but like a radio tower?
Yeah, like they review episodes of Coast to Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I listened to them, but they died out after one of the hosts moved away, and so it was like that tingle of like, have
Yeah.
I
You're like, do I know
inadvertently
that?
met this person before?
No, it's possible. There's so many podcasts out there, you know.
Yeah, and then you guys were talking about Power Rangers, and I'm like, this is a good opportunity because all I can say is Green Ranger cool.
In a modern context, that's about all I like. I know a little bit about Power Rangers, but like when I was a kid, that was my jam, dude. So much Power Rangers. I had all the toys. No, I don't want to say all the toys. I feel like there were so many toys.
I wish I still had those toys. Like I had the original Megazord. I've shared several times that like shopping around Target and Toys R Us and Venture were like some of my favorite memories with my dad was just going around looking for those things and him being like, if we find it, we'll buy it. And me just like, it was like Christmas morning every
Like,
weekend.
all right, okay. Um, I think my Power Rangers is and has been for most of my life the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Mm.
That's my go-to number one fan.
I actually just watched the movies in the background at work these last couple days at work. Like I just kind of had it on to keep my screens on.
Oh
And I
yeah,
just always find myself just looking over and being like, God, this is beautiful.
I know it really is. The trilogy is just like those are my favorite movies, like hands down. I've read all of Tolkien's books and all the books post death that his son put together, like the Fall of Gondolin and the Children of Húrin and all of that. And I mean even the Silmarillion is his collection of tomes and scrolls from his father, you know.
I remember the Lord of the Rings. My friend tried to get me to read them, and I just couldn't because and he thought I'd be fine doing it because like I was really big into Anne Rice, and so like purple prose and all that stuff is
Yeah.
yeah, I dig. But I was so frustrated because the copies he lent me, all of a sudden the elves would be singing and it would be pages of Elvish, and there's no
Oh.
freaking translation, and I was
Oh.
just so angry.
That's interesting. That he like gave you a copy where the songs were just in Elvish. Did it at least have like in the back in like the appendix? Did it have the alphabet translation?
No, it didn't.
Oh no!
So I stopped reading it. But as the first one got closer and closer to releasing, I finally forced myself to read it. And then I was like, okay, cool, I'm done. And I was like, assuming that the appendix was going to be just like, like the last like 30 pages was the appendix.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to the scourging of the Shire.
The
And I was
Scouring
like,
of the Shire.
Scouring,
Yeah.
sorry, thank you. And I was like, it's still going.
Oh, it goes. It just goes. For as long as the movies are, they still are just like not. I don't want to say the tip of the iceberg, but they could have each been 12 hours, 13 hours, and
Oh
still.
yeah, no. I love the trilogy, and I mean you must watch the extended edition. There's no point in watching the theatrical edition.
Yeah.
But after that, that misery of getting through those books, which I was like, after the movies came out, I kind of had an appreciation for them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to dive any further into any other Tolkien.
Yeah.
But I was working a job at a computer store in like 2009, 2007-ish, somewhere in there. And The Children of Húrin came out. My friend, huge Tolkien buff,
So good.
He gave it to me. He says, "You need to read this." And I'm like, I haven't read any of the other stuff. He's like, "Okay, don't worry about the Silmarillion. It's really dense and stuff like that."
It's like study material. It's just something you have at the side when you read the other things, so you can like reference. It's like a reference book.
and I abandoned it because I got to, I think, chapter 2 or 3 when it talks about like the end of the battle.
Mhm.
And it was literally the Bible of, and she like heard her husband died and threw herself off a cliff. And
Oh,
she
the
then
children
ran
of
to her.
Erin?
Yes, where it
Yeah.
talks about like, there's like an entire chapter of like 2 sentences of this person heard their husband died, killed themselves.
Mhm.
I'm like, this is the Bible.
Yeah,
You're making me read the Bible. He's like, it gets good after that. I'm like,
it's so good.
what is wrong with you? I can't. Do these people come back? He's like, no, this is just talking about the
Yeah,
deaths.
no.
I'm like, I am not going further than this.
It's like,
You keep tricking me.
it's one of the most tragic stories I've ever read, and I like it's yeah, you don't want, it's almost like you don't want to fall in love with these characters because I'm not going to spoil the ending of the book, but
Yeah.
like it's just like an onslaught of tragedy. Highly recommend.
While we're on the subject of Lord of the Rings, I don't know if I've asked you this, Alex, but have you guys, like, do you remember the initial trailer they released for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, or like the Fellowship of the Ring?
Yep.
It was almost like they were advertising it like a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
The one I remember is maybe like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, but it was just of the Fellowship cresting like a hill and walking by the screen one by one. That's the one I remember as the first one.
I think it was either around the time we were getting ready to do our Hobbit episodes last year, or there was something where I was like, I don't remember seeing trailers for this, because I have the most vivid memory of I'm sitting in my room talking to my cousin on AOL Instant Messenger, which is now a very old sentence. And he's like, oh, you need to go see Lord of the Rings. You need to see Fellowship of the Rings, like, now. What are you doing? Go see it. And I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is. What is it? He's like, oh, you need to go see it. Go. And so I like look up showtimes. I ask my dad, like, hey, Dad, this is going on. Do you want to go see a movie? And he's like, sure. I just remember walking out of the theater and be like, how did I not see a trailer for this? And then as we're prepping for our Hobbit trilogy, I had that feeling again of like, I don't remember ever seeing a trailer for the Fellowship. All the movies I saw as a kid every weekend with my dad, we never saw a Fellowship trailer. And so I looked it up online and I saw this trailer that they're like, announcement trailer, Fellowship of the Ring, Rotten Tomatoes vault or whatever. It was just the most bizarre trailer for this movie, where it's like, it's cut up like a horror movie film or a horror film trailer. And it's just like, this isn't what the movie's like at all. The tone is, you got the wrong tone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where it came from.
Your tone is just, it's bad. It's the wrong tone.
Talking to my guy all wrong. You got the wrong
the
tone.
Balrog's gonna come out of Moria, and it's gonna be a bad. I don't do a good
Fly, you fools.
Speak friend and enter.
Aragorn, why are you dressed like Strider?
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
That's a good one. I love that behind the scenes video from The Hobbit where Orlando Bloom does the viral, like, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, Isengard.
Yeah.
See, that's why I will never give up my my Blu-rays of them, because I got the collection that had all the miscellaneous stuff. So you got the long and short of it, the Andy Serkis shorts. You got all the ones where like the branching paths that kind of set up like the Elven Village, where you can go look at all the little, like, even the deleted scenes, but also the little things of them playing around. You click around enough and you can find the 10-minute segment about which I know there was more than one person, but the poor costumer who was like, I've been making chainmail for 17 years preparing for this movie, ring by ring, hand daily.
Oh, the links they went to for those movies it's just insane. I like they built everything in the Shire and then just like left it alone for a year so that it became overgrown and looked weathered and looked like just actually authentic.
I don't know if this is like a head memory from like some other thing, but there was one about like about the hobbits like going surfing or something like that briefly. Like they mentioned that, like, oh yeah, he's like we were surfing yesterday and now we have to be in the mountains.
Yeah.
Because they would just have days off and they would have nothing to do, so they would just go do things.
Yeah, they were in a very exotic place that probably had every sort of like environmental biome at their disposal. They could go skiing and then probably go on like a lush hike and then go, like you said, surfing, and then all wrap it up in 24 hours. My first job was at a movie theater, and I worked there for like 4.5 years. And when I worked there, The Return of the King came out, and I saw it like 20 times in the theater. I just kept going. It's like, this is just a perfect movie. Even with the 300 endings, I sat through them every time somehow.
See, I never understood the hate for the so many endings.
I
like,
love
I
it.
don't get it, because
Yeah.
you're putting a bow on all the
Yeah.
things. Like,
There's
that's
so
what you
many
do.
loose ends that need tied up, and like you said, put a bow on.
So which one is your favorite film in the trilogy then?
Return of the King. But I mean, they all work as a unit, but I think Return of the King just has the most to offer with wrapping up the lore and giving you like so much. You get all of the ghosts, and you get all of the Oliphants and the trolls, and you get Two Towers is really good too. They're all really good. I really like The Fellowship because it drops you into the universe, and it's like your introduction. So I just think Return of the King is peak. Was peak.
Yeah, it has so many payoffs. When I rewatch them once a year, once every 2 years, I watch it straight through.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to revisit something, it will probably be Return of the King, just because there's so much resolution that it doesn't leave really any room to ask, like, what about this? No, you are satisfied with everything that has come from it. And yeah, like you said, like the Oliphants, the Ghost, everybody gets their own little bow,
It's such a convergence of adventures that all come to a head and all come to a close all at once. And I feel like there hasn't been a lot of movies that has juggled that many things all at once in such an epic fashion.
I mean, I love that the lady who's like, I am no man, she gets her moment of like, well, she and the other guy get together. So they have their moment. You have Aragorn with Arwen who gets their moment. You have the resolution of not only Sam and Frodo, but you also have like the other hobbits who get theirs. And then you also have the resolution that Sam went home and Sam got some because he had like 12 kids.
He did.
And you know what? He married the right little redheaded hobbit.
That's such a good scene too. When they're like back home at the pub, and he's just like, he like puts his mug down and sees her, and he just like looks at them, and he's like, you know what? I'm shooting my shot, and then he just goes and he like and marries her.
Yeah, I mean, it all wraps up, and especially the extended edition, because yes, in the theatrical version, in theory, Saruman got kind of locked away in the tower or something like that, and so that's how they kind of explain away why they're not doing the burning of the Shire. But with the extended edition, you do have the cathartic moment of seeing him die.
Yeah,
and Wormtongue saying
stabs him. Do you know the behind the scenes with Christopher Lee?
Yes,
and that scene, how they were asking about like what sound should I make? And Peter Jackson's like, you're getting stabbed in the back. You should be like, ah. And then he's like, why would I make that sound? That's not what a man getting stabbed in the back sounds like. And he's like, oh, he's like he was the only person in the cast who had experienced, like, been witness to someone being stabbed in the back. So
he did it.
Yeah. Or he did it. You never know. He's talk about a legend. He has so much. So much. He was in like a death metal band, like an opera metal death metal band, and I mean he fought in he saw wartime, and he just is in so many legendary movies and fun movies like Gremlins and shit. Like,
yeah, I totally forgot he was in Gremlins too. Like that blew my mind when I realized that.
His career just spans it touches so many nodes, from like classic horror all the way up to the like Gremlins too, like schlocky fun. And
come on, we can't forget he
was in the Clone Wars. Yes,
he did the biggest rap album of all time.
Damn,
and the biggest music video of all time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, but what about Macho Man's rap album? we can't discredit that.
He had a whole slam track against Hulk Hogan. I mean, that makes it pretty epic.
Wait, I know Stefan gets what I'm referring to. I saw his eyes light up. What about you, Josh? Come on, do you know what I'm referring to?
Well, it's obviously
oh,
K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah.
I absolutely love that Michael Jackson on the album liner note says "Rap by Christopher Lee." No, wait. Oh shit, that was Vincent Price.
Yeah, Vincent
Fuck.
Price
Damn it.
on Thriller.
Oh, never mind. Delete the last 5 minutes.
Potato.
Nope. I had a good line with K-pop Demon Hunters
Tomato,
saying it.
tomato. You know. And Vincent Price, I saw this thing with Vincent Price, and his daughter was doing a talk, and she was saying it was at this horror convention in Kentucky. Not that any of those details matter, but anyway, I saw her at this talk, and she was talking about how he would just say yes to things, and whether or not he was getting paid or not, he was just be like, you know what, yes, and that. Just doing that elevated his career to such a level it had never. He kind of did that with Edward Scissorhands too, where he was just like, you know what, I like the script. I don't really know Tim Burton, but I'm about it. I'm going to do it. And he did that with Thriller as well, where he was like, Michael Jackson, I don't know too much about this. Let's run it. They gave him like the premise of the music video, and he's like, I'm a horror icon. Let's run it.
That is awesome. I didn't know that, because like Christopher Lee, Vincent Price. Like once I became aware, because he's one of those actors that once I became aware of him, I'm like, oh my god, he's been in everything.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands was, I think, his last movie. I think because he passed away shortly thereafter. Movie. And it is so sad seeing him, like knowing that it was his last movie, and he has that moment where he collapses before finishing the hands. It's like when I got really sad and was it John Wick 4 when Lance Reddick dies in that movie. And I'm like, and he had just passed away like a few weeks before that movie came out. And I'm like, this hurts. This hurts. Oh, this hurts. Stop it. Stop it.
That was like Sid Haig in, I don't know if you guys are horror movie fans, but I've seen you cover a couple horror things, but do you know 3 from Hell, the Rob Zombie movie? It's like the sequel movie.
Yeah, the sequel to not Hell's Angels.
Not House of a Thousand
Corpses. The one after that one, Hell's
Why am I
Demons, something like
it?
that.
Yeah.
We have the internet. We can use.
Yeah,
we can use the internet.
No, what's the internet? I've never. It's before.
Dang, why am I?
Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects. Yes, thank you. It's the sequel to that, and he, like, Sid Haig is actively kind of like dying in the scenes that he's in that movie. It was like the very last things he ever did, but it kind of parallels that with Vincent Price in Edward Scissorhands, where you're like, dang, this is it. These were like some of your this was your last like cinematic moment.
Yeah,
which is cool. I think if he could retrospectively look back on that and see that movie, he'd probably be really stoked that was the last movie he was in.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised that it was a lot better than I expected it to be, because it was 14 years later, and I remember House of a Thousand Corpses was low budget schlock, but fun schlock.
Yeah.
And then Devil's Rejects was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Like it was the first movie that Sherry Moon Zombie actually worked for me, where I'm like, you're trying. Okay, yeah. I'm on board with what you're doing here. All right, I'm okay with this.
She has her moments. Her moments. I felt like the what was it? The Witch of Salem, the House of Salem, the Salem. Yeah. She was all right in that. She wasn't bad, but that whole movie's kind of a weird abstract thing that I feel like didn't get its flowers in a way, but a lot of people crap on that movie.
I think you may have found your new guest fill-in for horror movies, since I don't watch horror movies.
Rob Zombie is just such a weird. He's just an eccentric guy. He seems to have these grandiose ideas, but he doesn't seem to know if he wants to necessarily fulfill them, kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, Hellbilly Deluxe, Sinister, Educated Horses. That was like my high school years. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween 1 is better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he didn't necessarily want to do Halloween 2, but they're like, dude, you made money. And so he went, I'm going to shove the weirdest crap into this I can. I'm going to have my wife in it walking around a white horse randomly. I'm going to have Michael talk. I'm going to kill some long-standing horror icons.
It definitely shows in that second one that he was just like going for whatever. He was throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck and just running with it.
Who the hell brings Danielle Harris back to the franchise? Just be like, I'm going to murder you when you get out of the bathtub.
Did you see the newest? the newest Halloween movies?
Oh yeah, no, I saw. I went and saw the first one in theaters, and the other two they were on Peacock same day. I watched them both. Yeah.
How did you feel about the third one?
Third one I thought would have worked if it was the first one.
Okay, that's fair.
Because what I felt is at the end of the first one, I felt that they were setting up for Laurie's daughter to kind of like inherit the curse kind of thing. And then it would be kind of like this symbiosis thing in the second one. But by the end of the second one, I was like, okay, so maybe they're not going that route. But when they went that route in the third one.
That is true. I didn't really think about it that way. It's like a total just tonal shift from the other two. And it could have been like how Rob Zombie didn't want to do the second one of his iterations for that like run of them. Maybe by the third, the creators were like, we're just going to do something zany, which is in true like horror franchise fashion. You got to go to space. You got to go, you got to have like the return of the return of the return of after we thought you were dead. And so I feel like they were trying to hit that note of a horror franchise like on the third installment.
I didn't hate it. I was just slightly tonally confused. It felt unearned, but I accepted what it was. And then I had read like a forum about people like, well, if you look at the tonal, the tones are going for, and I was like, yeah, that actually does make sense more if you set it up that if they're ignoring part two. So let's just go straight to part one. Michael gets away, and this person finds Michael has been hiding for 40 years and reawakens him. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where this is. I respect it because they went for a huge, massive swing on that. Like they swung for the damn fences, and I respect what they did. I also do like how they treated Laurie, where they had this continuation of trauma and relief that she ended him quite brutally, and they continued the themes of like the town and the like the generational trauma of a town getting rid of the evil by throwing him into the wood chipper. I really dug that.
I agree. It was a poetic ending. Have the whole town get in on it like that, and it definitely was like deserved.
So there's parts that like I didn't like, but there's parts that I really liked.
Josh, you're not a horror fan. What in the realm of horror, what do you gravitate toward? Or I guess in the world of like the macabre or strange, because there is a huge Venn diagram with sci-fi and horror. I feel like there are a lot of movies that bridge that gap.
I like more like thriller, psychological thriller kind of things. I can get into like A Quiet Place, those kind of movies, action horrors kind of, I can dig those. But if I want to be challenged in like my feeling towards horror, I prefer psychological thriller kind of things like
Shutter Island.
The best one I can Shutter Island is one that I've seen, but I didn't resonate with me. I think I was just expecting like the best movie ever because that's what everyone was saying.
We got a lot of hype.
But like the original Strangers is one where like the home invasion kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
that one really like, it doesn't haunt me, but I like when it leans more realistic in the horror element to it. But like if I have to go into a horror thing, I will usually try to steer more towards the action horror because like I know eventually it's going to escalate to a point where it's just like the jump scares are not going to be as bad as they try to be in more accessible horror. I guess would be a way to put it. Yeah, like I'm not anti-horror, but I just prefer like the go action with it, like Aliens, Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like those are some pretty good examples of like, again, more thriller than horror. But if you want to go like full horror, I like The Strangers. I like Quarantine. Those kind of movies, those work for me.
Ernest Scared Stupid, I believe you said is your favorite of all time.
Ernest Scared Stupid is my favorite horror movie of all time.
Good. I watch that every year around Halloween. It's so good. Ernest is just such a gem. He was such a gem and such a treasure and such a treat.
I still every now and again I'll do the ew.
He has this alter ego called Aster Clemens, and it's just this pompous like rich guy. He's like, this is the world and the way I see it as Aster Clemens.
Who's the lady? He also has that alter ego of the lady. He'll dress up like the lady with the big turtleneck.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Ernest Scared Stupid and Ernest Saves Christmas are like two childhood favorite movies of mine. Like I could bridge Ernest Scared Stupid with Nightmare Before Christmas into Ernest Saves Christmas, and that would be like a great trilogy
Oh yeah,
night for me.
See, I absolutely love Ernest Goes to Jail.
Ernest Goes to Jail is really good too. Those like flunkies, the two dudes that are just like the guards, they steal the show at moments. They have a sort of, I don't know, I don't want to say like Abbott and Costello vibe, but they're just two knuckleheads that are just kind of like, man, we'll get you. I like that. I like them.
No, they got totally grafted onto the Power Rangers to bring that circle back in.
They needed the Vulcan skull, yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Steven, let's refocus on you. Let's talk a little bit about your podcast again. Are there any upcoming episodes or episode ideas that you have for Nerd Ranks that you are like, I cannot wait to get this one recorded and put out into the world?
I've got a handful of episode ideas. So usually I do, well, I mean, every once in a while, I think for like one for every 7 or 8 episodes, I will just do a deep dive on something rather than a ranking list, because sometimes I'll have to do some research where it's like, I haven't played that game or haven't watched that movie, I haven't done that thing. So there's a couple movies that I would like to do some deep dives on, some classics. I kind of want to do an A/B comparison of the Blade Runner movies, just talk about them rather than rank them. Although, like I said, I am primarily a ranking show where I'm taking that lane, but that's been one on the back burner for a minute where I would like to just kind of pick those two apart and, like I said, A/B them, because I'm a huge fan of the classic Blade Runner, and I really liked the new Blade Runner.
We might have to get in touch with Antonio, because if I remember, Blade Runner is his all-time favorite movie. So Antonio
Nice.
over at the Cultworthy, shout out to you, and we might be trying to play a little matchmaker here.
Yeah, link me up. I mean, I'm trying to link up with the community of nerds and the community of like-minded folks. So I would love to pick his brain. If that's his favorite movie, I'd love his perspective on it.
Which version?
Because
there's like 12 cuts of Blade Runner.
Oh, of the original Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Preferably the most uncut one.
Well, I guess the biggest would be narration or no narration.
Oh, narration.
Oh, you dig the narration? That's interesting.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people who prefer like the director's cut where they like pare that back so much.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's because it's the first time I saw the first way I ever saw it was like that. I guess it just became my like base level for it.
Yeah, because the way I feel about that movie is like when you got to like the 12th director's final edition theatrical extended cut final say, it's such a mishmash of all the different cuts, but then
there's a lot of meat on the bone.
Yeah, the way he just tinkers with it, where he's like, okay, this cut will have him having the unicorn dream. Oh, this one won't, but this one will. And he wants to explain like, okay, he's like trying to feed you that I believe Deckard is a replicant, but then he sees Blade Runner in 24/9 and he goes, you're right, he's not. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, which is it? You can't give me 16 cuts and then like look at everybody and go, he's a replicant, okay? All right. And then he goes, well, okay, I guess he's not. You know, it's kind of like Carpenter, John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Who he will never, anyone who claims about the thing, anyone who claims that who is the thing at the end, he says, you don't fucking know, and I'm not telling you.
There's so many theories, and that's another big one I have on the back burner are John Carpenter movies for just a ranking episode straight up, because I love all of his movies so much. I've seen him in concert twice, and I have like his vinyls and stuff, and I really want to do a John Carpenter, and that's another good fusion of horror meets sci-fi, because you get They Live, you get The Thing, you get and fantasy with like Big Trouble in Little China and stuff like that. I
love Big Trouble in Little China.
So
Big Trouble in Little China is perfect.
But I've been wanting to do an episode where maybe a top 10 on those, because there's so much, not to reuse meat on the bone, but there's so many banger just movies.
Well, he touched so many genres. He had Assault on 13, which was remade and not quite as good, but he has probably my favorite. I mean, I love The Thing. Halloween's great. The Thing's great. Big Trouble in Little China is perfect. but In the Mouth of Madness is so damn good.
Yeah, that one slept on.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like a perfect Lovecraftian story.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Grant, that actor, he's so good in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie doesn't hold back from just letting you wallow in like its mixture of like surrealism and misery. I love that movie. Yeah.
I think that's maybe his most like experimental movie in terms of cinematography and just like the story itself.
I mean, and lest we forget that he did They Live, where he had a 20-minute fight sequence with Roddy
The best
Piper.
fight sequence in cinematic history. That is the best fight sequence.
I will gladly join you, and I will challenge every ranking and until you admit that Escape from LA is slightly redeemed by Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah, no, I love Escape from LA, Escape from New York.
It's terrible.
No, I love them. I love them. I will concede they are terrible, but I love Escape from LA. It's awful.
Yeah.
And
everyone's screaming at Alex right now. Sam Niell is Alan Grant.
Thank you, Sam Niell. That's right. Alan.
Yeah, so those are two big ranking or two big episodes that I feel like would be a lot of fun, but it's wild because sometimes I'll have to do some research. Like, for instance, when I did the zombie video game one, I had never played The Last of Us. And I was like, I have to play this game before I make this list because that game is so revered and so beloved. I was like, I have to give this a fair shake or else I feel like I'm just a poser. If I'm like, I'm making a zombie game list and I don't play that game, I had to play it. And I had to like play, I played it for like quite a bit so I could get the full experience. You know what I mean?
That one is one, my wife doesn't like scary video games or anything like that. So if there's one that I'm particularly interested, I'll play. And that's one that like, when there was like a cutscene story moment, she'd like, close her book and watch. And then the second that I'm fighting through something, she just start reading her book again. And then occasionally she'd be like, "Are you dead yet?" No, I think I'm getting to a checkpoint or something like that. But she started playing the game with me. She's like, "Ellie hasn't said something in a while. You should go back and look for some riddle books."
It's good to have a co-pilot with that.
She loves the giraffe moment. Like when I got to that, she was just like tearing up. And then she was just like, and then of course it's literally a descent because you get that up, you're up in the balcony, you have that giraffe moment, and then you literally walk down and she's like, "Oh, this is going to be hell after this." I'm like, "What?" And she went, "This is going to be bad. They gave you something happy. They're going to take it all away."
Yeah. Classic. It's like, are you feeling good now? You feel all right? You feel safe? Too bad.
Exactly.
Oh, that sounds like Expedition 33.
Yeah.
God, I need to play that game again.
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
Oh, that's if you like the macabre, if you like French student films, like those stereotypical French student films that are just like the lone old man smoking a cigarette on the table in black and white, and it's an artist's interpretation of the economy or something like that. Expedition 33 is like Final Fantasy mixed with that student French film.
Interesting. Interesting.
My favorite review of Expedition 33 was a 1-star review, and it was, "The French are sympathetic. I can't believe this."
Wow.
But no, Josh is right. This is the equivalent of like of a French person putting down a wet glass with condensation on it and going, "This is art." Now I'm going to play Final Fantasy 14 in the background.
Oh my God, no!
It's great.
It's so good. It is. It's my favorite game in a long time. Like
I need to play. I'm writing it down.
It tricks you into choosing what you think is the good ending, and it is in fact the French ending, and you have to replay it to get the good ending.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think I see. Is it on Steam? I've heard of it.
Oh yeah,
I
think it's on sale right now for the holiday sale.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
Steam,
have to make a point to download it.
PS5, 4, Xbox.
I played it on Game Pass, and it was so good that I'm like, I need the physical edition of this game because like I want the studio to get whatever cut they get, and I need to make sure I have this game for the rest of my life.
Some games are like that, where like you just have to get the physical copy of it because it's that damn good.
I really would like. Speaking of, the Mario trailer reminded me of like how upset I am that I got rid of my copy of Super Princess Peach. Not only because the game has value, but because it's just such a good ass game. It was a game that came out on the Nintendo DS. I remember my buddies, Matt, who is on the podcast every now and again, and Jason, they were like, get this game. It is really good. They let me play a couple of levels on their DSs, and I was like, okay, I get it. And then as I kept going through the game, I'm just like, holy crap, this game is fantastic. And I'm surprised Nintendo has not repackaged it for the Switch or later releases. But like I remember when I worked at GameStop, that game got up to like $79.99 in resale value.
Damn. Yeah, that's an expensive resaled DS game for sure. Is it? Did they just not make a ton? I mean, it's Nintendo.
They didn't make a ton of them.
Okay.
Yeah, they just didn't manufacture a lot of them. I think the initial sales numbers just didn't justify reprints or repackages.
But it's just
and so
gem.
eventually it gained a cult following, but then there were no copies. So people had to buy it through the DS store, the Nintendo shop. And then like places like GameStop just jacked up the price. Like it was more expensive than most of the Pokemon games we would get.
Do you have a favorite Mario game?
Ooh, I'm really partial to Super Mario World because again, the SNES was like my first real console that I really connected with.
Perfect game.
And so Super Mario World is one that I really love going back to because like I will get to the Star World, I will get to the Blue Yoshi, and I will just fly through every level and cheese it as many times as I can.
That's a really good pick. I think that is another game that just has like almost infinite replayability because the levels are so fun and you get so much satisfaction when you like get the secrets and unlock the other parts of the map, of the world map, especially like going all through the star levels and stuff is really satisfying.
Yeah, once you get to like the superstar levels where you have like the zigzag instead of the star pattern, like those levels get tough. So I don't know if I've ever actually finished all of those levels. So maybe I just gave myself a challenge to do over the holiday weekend.
There you go.
You guys, of course, are wrong. The correct answer is N64 Mario. Or no, it was known as Mario 64 because it had all the lovely worlds, the ghost
because
worlds.
It's a game that makes no sense. Like Mario 64 is the game that makes me hate open world games because I literally had no idea how to play that game.
The loading screen, you could use the triggers to grab Mario's face and contort
I did like that about the game. That was nice. That was nice. Warping his face.
Yeah. Then, of course, everybody knew the rumor that there was actually 121 stars, not 120. And if you got the 121 star, you got Yoshi from the beginning, which, of course, is not true.
I like, you get in like a cannon on the outside of the castle and you can shoot yourself like up on top of the castle. I just remember hitting that point of the game and just feeling like so like I hacked the mainframe. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be up here. This is
Yeah, there was also like there's a way to like backflip past like the invisible wall to like get to one of the other areas before like you had like 60 stars or something like that. You could trick that, but then you didn't really have the right power, so you just kind of get wiped.
The flying hat felt really good too. That was peak.
I had literally never seen that power used in that game. I never owned an N64, so like my neighbor kid had an N64. He was really big into wrestling, so he mostly had his games were GoldenEye, whatever wrestling game had just come out, and he had Mario just over in the corner collecting dust. And so every now and again we would bust out Mario, but he would only go so far. And again, I didn't know how to play the game. I didn't understand like what to do because Mario had always been I'm running to the right. And that's
like, what is this?
And now, like, what is this free roaming? What is 360 degrees of movement in a video game? I don't understand this.
Yeah, you should have started it early so you could see Toad. Toad drop down in his little cloud and tell you how to play the game?
Wasn't it Lakitu?
I thought it was Toad.
He was a turtle man.
Whatever the turtle man is on the cloud with the camera, because he actually literally shows you the camera he's going to follow you around with, which is great.
Doesn't he have like, am I just imagining this? Isn't there like the cameras on like a fish?
Yes,
yeah, he's got it on a fishing reel.
Yeah.
And the premise is actually he's recording Mario for Bowser. So whenever you die, Bowser laughs because he's watching the feed.
That is so dark.
Yeah.
So dark. And then his face like pans in.
Yeah, I literally had never seen the flying hat power until my wife Ricky bought the All Stars Super Pack for the Switch, and she's like, "I'm going to show you how well I play this game." And she got to the point where I'm like, "I've never seen the hat. Like, what? How is this working? What are you doing? How did you find this?" Because I'd seen quite a few levels played, but I'd never seen the hat and the flying sequences.
It's
So I
really
was
OP. Once you get it, you're just kind of you go wherever you do whatever you want. Go
it's like
wherever
the
you
blue
want.
Yoshi.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. I'm a big fan of 3, but again, that's like the first one I ever played, and it just hits that nostalgia node.
3 is probably my number 2. I would go Mario World, then Mario 3. I love the frog suit and the boot in
Yeah.
Mario 3. Like those are two of my favorite all-time favorite power-ups.
What's the one where you play the flute to travel between worlds?
That was
3.
in 3.
Okay, then yeah, that's my second favorite one.
Mhm. Yeah, the flute power-ups are nice.
I was thinking about being a smartass and saying Super Mario Kart, but like that's I love the original SNES Mario Kart.
Oh, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. You could say Mario Kart. That's fine. It's a Mario game, you know,
Yeah, but Mario World is very much my favorite like platforming Mario game.
for sure.
Side scroller, whatever you want to call it. Like to me, Mario has always been a side scroller. Whenever they do a 3D Mario, I'm not a huge fan of it. Although I will say Mario 3D World and the 3DS Mario Land that they came out with, I really enjoy those. But again,
Mhm.
it follows the similar formula where you just have the level and you're clearing it.
Mhm.
Whereas like Mario 64, Mario Odyssey, when you give me the entire world is my possibility, I'm just like so overwhelmed that I can't. I'm like, I don't understand what you want me to do.
What is the goal?
Exactly. And then when you tell me I have to go back and find more things to clear that level, actually, then I'm just like, I'm done.
This is too much. Mario's supposed to be bubblegum, jump on the thing, make sure you get from point A to point B, get the power up to help you get from point A to point B.
Exactly.
I feel
And that's
that.
where I've had problems with like Donkey Kong Country. Like I love the first 2 Donkey Kong Country games, but then like Donkey Kong Country 3 changed up the map formula, the overworld formula, and then they came back with Tropical Freeze for the Wii, and now Donkey Kong Bonanza is basically just
Open
Super
world.
Mario 64 open
Yeah.
world stuff. And I'm just like, no, like none of these hit that same.
No,
They
yeah.
don't hold the same mechanics, or like they don't hit that same feelings. So I don't have anything that like draws me in with it. It doesn't give you that same feeling.
One like franchise that stuck to the formula and has a lot of entries, I would say, is Crash Bandicoot in that respect, where it's a platformer and it has evolved and changed and had power-ups and stuff, but it's still very linear. And I think that's why it is like when new Crash Bandicoots drop today, it's almost always like received well.
I actually just played Crash Bandicoot for the first time. The trilogy set came up on sale on Steam, I think for like $4. I was like, I've never played these before. I had the demo of one of the levels in the PlayStation disc pack that
Like
they
a
gave you.
jam-pack disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a 1080 snowboarding and Crash Bandicoot and Lara Croft, where you could
like Soul
ride the
Reaver.
T-Rex.
Yeah.
So I just bought that on a whim, and I'm stuck on one of the levels where it's like raining and the
Are you playing
platforms like
Which one
remove.
are you on right now?
The first one, like I think I'm on like level 2 or 3.
The first one is brutal at points. The first one can be really tough.
I think I need to play it on my computer with my controller instead of having the whole Steam Deck in my hand, because I think part of it is I need the bigger screen to kind of visualize better, whereas I'm looking at the tinier Steam Deck screen.
Some of those levels, especially like the temple, when you get going through the temple and there's all the bats, and then there's some really difficult. That is one thing that they've done well with the new ports is back in the PS1 days when you would jump, you're on this like you are kind of going from left and right, but left to right, but there is also like a forward and backward area you can jump to in that direction, and they've kind of smoothed that out with the new ports and stuff, so you can actually jump and go where you're trying to go. But that's just, I feel like that's so many platformers from that era had that going on, and not just,
The first Assassin's Creed game I played was Black Flag, and I played the hell out of it. Loved it. 100%ed it.
I have Black Flag like literally sitting here. I started it recently. I have like all my games over here. Anyway, I started that game like pretty recently as well. It's really fun so far.
I would sail around, getting the sea shanties, picking up as many as I can, whaling. It was the first one I played. I played the hell out of it because it came in like a bundle, 1 through 4 bundle thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was like, well, I'm starting with the sailing one. It's the newest one. And then I was like, you know what? The next one I should play should be, because my wife and I do reenacting French and Indian War, and they have one set during that time period. And so I started that one. I got maybe an hour and a half into it. I'm like, the quality of life differences, because I think that was like the second one, are so astoundingly different.
That one's the third one.
Oh, the third one?
Mm-hmm. It's Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, okay, but they're so
in
different.
Like Spain or
Italy, Rome.
Italy, yeah.
Yeah, that one is its own trilogy. You have Assassin's Creed 2, then you have Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then you have Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was trying to do a picking game. Like it was like the first box I came across. Like, you have 3 lockpicks. Okay, cool. I'll lockpick this, and I shattered all 3. And I'm like, what?
What have I done?
Like, it was like Robin Hood Men in Tights. I'm like looking for the script. I'm not supposed to lose. How did I lose? Let me check this. And so I was like, okay, I got like a little bit further. I'm like, okay, it's there's too much friction. Let me go to like maybe one of the earlier ones. Maybe this was an off title, and it was just worse. And I'm like, hey, they perfected it. I picked the first game that was perfect. I'm done playing the series. I'm never going back.
Black Flag was fantastic. I remember another irregular Talking Smack co-host, Scotty. He and I, like, they had a companion app where you could like send ships out on missions as part of your fleet, and you can watch battles and like designate battles. And we would just be on our phones in the middle of our shift at GameStop playing on our phones with these companion apps so that we can earn more money in the game. And like that was just some great cross promotion from Ubisoft at the time.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's always really amazing when games do that. They have like something you can do away from the game to affect the game when you get back to it. Such a like unique concept.
I love that in the Fable games too, where like you earned interest. So even when you walked away from the game, once you booted it up in that first save hit, it's like, oh, you've been away for 8 hours. Here's 8 hours of interest from your game.
Those games were great. We need another one of those sooner than later, I feel like.
Well, there's been one that's been in the production hell for forever. Like they're going back to just calling it Fable. I'm sure they'll eventually put a subtitle on it, but like they have nothing to show for it other than like one cinematic trailer that was like just like, oh, here's Albion and now Fable. I will be shocked if they ever actually make another one, just because they can't seem to hit that formula. Because I remember Fable 1 was really fun. Like it was a good fresh start. Fable 2 was near perfect. The only flaw was that final fight being so disappointing.
Yeah.
And then they tried to fix it with like 2/3 of a really good one in Fable 3. And then it becomes a completely different game with the last act of the game, where it becomes like an RTS.
I wonder what a new Fable, like, I guess the setting should be Albion, but I wonder what that even looks like, like in a modern context. Give us a Fable Souls-like. No, don't do that.
I mean, in a way, without
kind of tight.
Besides the relationship simulator that's in Fable, like Breath of the Wild is kind of the next closest thing we have to a Fable clone.
I believe you mean Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know. I don't know what Fable could bring to the market now. Like the last Fable was what? Well, there was the anniversary of Fable, right? Wasn't that just basically a remake of the first one?
I think it was Fable 1 and 2 not remakes, but like
smoothed out.
The HD remasters. That's what it is.
Yeah, but there's nothing really in there that stands out. I mean, a lot of the part of fun of Fable is this just how immersive and how the world kind of changes around you. But like,
I feel like that one probably worked for you, Josh, because it is open world, but it is also linear at the same time. It's like very on track.
Yeah, I had a really good time with the first 2 Fable games, and again 2/3 of the third Fable game, and then like Breath of the Wild is the one that proves the rule for me, because like I really love Breath of the Wild, but I hate Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom added like a Minecraft element to it, and then they added way too much with the sky area and the underground area.
There's a
And
lot.
I'm just like, it's too much. Just
Breath of the Wild, honestly, at times for me was not too much, but like dense. Where I was like, this is a lot. But they definitely elevated it. They definitely ramped it up even more.
yeah, the gameplay loop of Breath of the Wild is just phenomenal because if you're tired of fighting enemies, you can go farm for coins, or you can go do some side missions and help people, and you can try to build better weapons. You can cook, you can do all sorts of different things. And like, you don't have to do any of those things to make the game work either.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I really clicked with the game, is that like, oh, I don't have to cook, I don't have to do these things, but it's fun. It's fun to like go and gather these things and explore the world. Whereas Breath of the Wild felt like a chore, because it felt like every 2 to 3 hours they would be like, oh, by the way, you need to go build this thing using our Minecraft tool that we created.
You mean
And I'm just like,
yeah.
I was just like, I don't want to do it.
I don't like an unlocked map where it's like you have to find these towers or explore all these areas that are useless to the main story to unlock the map to see the full map. That bothers me. It just makes me twitch. But at the same time, as when I hear somebody talking about a game, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, well, how, because they always ask how long the game is. It's like, well, it's about a 45-hour game. I'm like, okay, cool. I can probably do that. He's like, but if you're going to completionist and you want to like the full story, it's about 257 hours. I'm like, I'm out. I just can't. I mean, the only game I will forgive that for is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Because that is an amazing game. It is deep. It's you're stumbling upon new little areas that you didn't know existed that give you storylines, not areas that are blocked off to force you to do storylines. Like Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West almost got to that point for me where it was just like, I almost don't want to finish this because there's just so much random map to explore. And each part of the map gives me fetch quests. But like, you put me in Manhattan in Spider-Man, I'm happy. It's like, I only have to explore Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll deliver pizzas. I will collect every single interest point so I can hear Bruce Campbell say something different. And then the bastard does say something different, literally. And I'm like, you jerk. Spider-Man 2 is so amazing.
That's just good writing. I mean, the traversal system has to be a big part of it too. Like, if it's a fun world to explore and move around in, then yeah, that's like a big plus as well.
Going back to Breath of the Wild, like how you get new items that then allow you to unlock different parts of the map, because you can then, like, when you get one of those like flame swords, now you can go to super cold areas and you equipped your sword and you're good. Stuff like that. How it like plays together with the gameplay loop and with they tie the exploration to the treasures that you find and the things you have to do to get to new areas.
I got a talking to in the Talking Smack Discord from Matt, because IGN came out with like their 100 greatest games of all time, and they listed Tears of the Kingdom as number one. I was like, fuck off. Like, I know I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong for my dislike of that game, how much I dislike that game.
It doesn't belong at number one.
But it's not Nintendo's number one greatest game ever.
No.
And yeah, it just reeks of IGN doing the rage bait thing of like, oh, let's make something controversial number one.
Yep.
No, it's like people or lists that try to see the best Souls-like game is Bloodborne, and I'm like, it's not. Listen, I get it. It was a PS4 exclusive. You guys loved it. I tried it, and I'm like, it has great theming, but the boss fights are freaking ridiculous. The color palette of that game is black. Shades of black. It's like trying to fight in a Hot Topic in the 90s. I can't see anything and I'm being accosted. I don't know what's going on, but just, you took my money. Okay? That's all. No. Everyone knows the actual best Souls-like is actually Demon's Souls, the original one that came out on PS3. Everybody knows that. I bought that game 4 times.
It sounds like everyone with Fallout 3 and 4.
Oh yeah,
and Skyrim.
Yeah, of course. I love Skyrim.
Another thing that'll like just nope me right out of a game is if you make your game too gear heavy, and like you require like almost Metroid like or what's the Castlevania like, where you have to get certain skills to get to certain areas.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing. Yeah,
which like I have played, I don't know if you guys have played Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a beautiful game, platformer. It's a Castlevania, Metroid like, to an extent. Like you can get to areas, but like you can't complete areas without these things. Whereas with like Mega Man, Castlevania, Metroid, you can't even get to certain areas until you get this skill.
Yeah.
When they did Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the sequel, they basically just went full bore into that. And it's just completely gear based. And I just was like, this isn't fun. I don't understand where you need me to go at this point. I got to a point in the game where just like I had soft locked myself out because I could not understand where I needed to go next. Because it's like, you need this gear, you need this skill, find it. I'm like, where
do I go? What do I do? That's when it's like, man, I kind of miss the days of strategy guides or like gaming magazines because it's all right there. I've got my tome over here, and there was something like very satisfying about the tactile nature of having the spell book or the guide just next to you, where you're like, oh, I'm in this area. They'd have a grid laid out for you and give you little tips and tricks on and guide you.
I can't stand like videos of like looking up videos of what I need to do. It's like I click a video and it's like, if it's over 6 minutes long, I'm like, no, I just need to know what your tip is to beat the boss, or you need to go to this area, or why
stop
I'm
padding your time and tell me what I came here to watch.
Yeah. And then you have to find like the right website, but the website could just be filled with filler language, or it could be that it hasn't been updated for the newest patch, so this is outdated, even though it's been 2 days since the game came out.
The last game I played that I really enjoyed that kind of feeling, where like you do get that tactile strategy guide, instruction manual kind of thing, which you actually unlock the instruction manual in the game, is Tunic, which is a Zelda-like that has like Souls-like elements to it. Whereas if you want to try and understand the game a little better, you want to know where to go next, you can search the map and find pages of the instruction manual, and then you just look at it on the screen and you go, oh, I need to go here, I need to go there.
That's the way to do it in a modern context.
That's a game that I would strongly recommend if anyone's looking for, they want to like scratch a Zelda itch while also kind of being challenged in a different way with how you play a game. Tunic is one that I would highly recommend.
All right, Stefan, I have a question for you. This is going to be back all the way to the beginning.
Yeah.
What's the name you release music under?
Mount Analog, MT Analog.
Are you on Spotify?
I'm on all the things.
You got trees coming out of eyeballs.
That sounds about right.
And I've clicked follow. You now have 361 followers.
Sick. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your most listened to song is called Breathe.
Yeah.
Nice. And your most recent single is Morrow Shade.
Yep. I've taken a bit of a step back this year from music, but I still am doing a fair amount of shows. I have a show next weekend, and yeah.
You've trimmed your beard.
I've trimmed my beard a lot. It used to be down to my belly button.
I'm looking at the picture that it's on Spotify, the about, and you're holding a goat's head.
Yeah, it's a goat's head, and I
think. Are you wearing the same sweater?
Yeah, I am. This is that sweater.
Yes.
Yeah, same sweater. I kind of live in this sweater. Once wintertime comes, I kind of live in this sweater.
Love it. Apparently it holds up.
It holds up strong. I love music. I've been making music for a long time, and I have I kind of like started touring in 2016 and have just been an independent musician / artist doing commissions / 100 different hustles in life. But that is one of my many passions.
That's awesome. I'm not creative enough for music. Like I played guitar when I was younger, but I was more of like, I will play other people's music and I will like do cover band stuff. But I could never like sit down and write a song. I couldn't figure that part out of I couldn't unlock that part of my brain.
Switch has a music making app. It's called I think it's just called Korg. It's just like the Korg,
the tuners and pedals and stuff. Yeah,
it's very like inviting because it's set up like a video game. So if you ever did want to dive into the world of music, I would highly suggest the Switch. It's I'm saying it's an app, but it's kind of a game. But it's a really simple like step sequencer and stuff. You can make drum beats. I did a show once where this guy did his whole set on a Switch and just used that Korg game, and the music was really good. I was like, damn, that sounded great. It was very video game. It had a very video game aesthetic, like chiptune, 16-bit, 8-bit type of music, but I could tell that he put a lot of time into creating the songs.
Yeah, it reminds me of those people released videos of from The Last of Us 2 with using Ellie playing guitar, because you basically can play guitar fully in that game.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't made it into The Last of Us 2 yet. That sounds
You
like
don't need to.
a vortex.
Don't worry about it.
Skip that one.
If you like that video game style music, and you like punk rock and stuff, or pop rock, I Fight Dragons is a Chicago-based band that I would highly recommend as well.
Okay.
I've been listening to them for over 10, 15 years. They had one really viral video go out where they were doing a live concert, and they're just like, oh, this one goes out to all the princesses out there who are stuck in a bad relationship with those evil wizards. And then you just hear them go bump 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 and then they start playing like a rock out. That was a great video. I'll have to send that to you. But they do like a rock anthem version of the Legend of Zelda theme, which is fantastic.
That's awesome. That's so fun. I love video game music. Do you guys know the story behind the soundtrack to Donkey Kong Country?
No, but I will take this as an opportunity to once again rip on the Mario movie for not using the Donkey Kong Country theme when they first enter Kong Land.
Yeah. But they use the DK rap, so you got to give it to them for that.
See, again, as someone who never owned an N64, I have no nostalgia for the DK rap.
Okay.
So like
Gotcha.
do do
Yeah.
do do do. Like, give me that. To give him a nice chill ride, and I'm here for it. But no, they have to play Aha's Take on Me, and I'm like, I love Take on Me, but not in this situation.
Yeah. I gotta agree with you there. It was a missed opportunity. But yeah, the guy who worked on the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack, he figured out how to resample sounds. So they had like a 16-bit chipboard in there, and they're like, okay, we've got these limitations, we've got these hardware limitations, but he basically figured out a way to sum sounds together and create new sounds. So he kind of like hacked the board inside of the SNES to make. That's why the Donkey Kong Country 2 soundtrack it slaps so hard, because he was the first guy to figure that out. Before that, SNES soundtracks didn't have that much like depth to the sound fonts.
Interesting.
Yeah. He was just a composer that got really into trying to figure out how to push the limitations of the tech to get new sounds out of it, and he figured it out. And then he shared that with the world. There's like a little mini documentary about it on YouTube. I think it's like 15 minutes or something, but it kind of blew my mind watching that. I was like, damn, he really he broke the code.
That's super cool. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get out of here, but Steven, you are definitely welcome back to carry on this conversation or just talk about whatever we might be talking about on an episode. But please plug your podcast one more time and let everyone know where they can find you on the social medias.
Yeah, of course. Thanks again for having me on and letting me just mouth diarrhea, just ramble on this podcast. It was really fun talking with you guys. And you can find me wherever you listen to podcasts, Nerd Ranks. It is a ranking show, all things movies, comics, cartoons, everything like that. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places. And then I also have social media channels where I share little kind of info dumps and love letters to some of my favorite like things in that same vein. And that's just Nerd Ranks on all of the things, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube and all that jazz. So once again, thank you for responding to my cold call email and letting me crash your show.
Well, I mean, thank you so much for not being a bot, among other things. But
You
thanks
still
for.
don't know I'm not a bot.
That's true. But yeah, thanks so much for reaching out. This has been a fantastic conversation, and it's been a lot of fun. Alex seems to have one last question, or he's stunned about something.
Yeah.
Left shoulder next to Blue Cape Batman. What is that smiling thing?
So, okay, I have this. This is like prehistoric Wolverine with like bone claws over here. And this dinosaur creature just got packaged with bone claw Wolverine. Just as like a foe. It's just like a foe. You know what I mean? Just nameless prehistoric creature to fight bone claw Wolverine.
Love it.
This is before Jeff the Land Shark was a thing in Marvel Comics.
Yep.
Now, Stephen, if you want to continue to chat with us and not involve email, you can join our Discord. The link is down below. It's tsmackpod@gmail.com. That's all you need. It's where we talk about movie news, animation, comics, all sorts of things. It's like where we find out today that, unfortunately, Paramount sucks and has canceled the R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie about Ronin, as well as they canceled
The
Tales
Last
of the
Ronin.
Sorry, The Last Ronin, as well as Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But they say they're bullish on the future of the franchise. Those liars.
Well, I have a small spoiler alert for you, Alex. Is Steven is already in the Discord, but
I jumped in there. I found it. I'm a weirdo like that.
Look
But-
at that. You don't even need to listen to our podcast to join.
he clicked the link to join, which
I clicked the
others
link.
can as well.
Click that link. Get in that link.
Not Legend of Zelda link. Stay out of that link. You can follow us on all the social media platforms at Talking Smack Pod on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube. Please email us at tsmackpod@gmail.com. Steven did. You can too. Thank you to Leo Allen for our musical themes, Beppo for our original avatars, Retro Ale Studios for our Ricky avatar. Please like, subscribe, rate, review on your podcatcher of choice. If you are listening on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit like, share, rate. Ratings are huge. Those help the algorithm and help people find us. Somehow Steven found us. I don't know how that happened, but very happy that he did. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Steven, thank you so much for having been here. Alex, thank you for being here as always. Steven, there's a show people should be watching. What is that show?
Nerd Rank. No, it's Star Trek.
You listen to Nerd Ranks.
Watch Star Trek.